Welcome back, Metalheads. Today, I'm spinning the wax with Kat Keogh and April Dimmick of Hoaxed, and we're listening to British Steel by Judas Priest and Sing the Sorrow by AFI. Don't go anywhere, it all starts right now. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Spinning the Wax, where we listen to your favorite artists' favorite records. My name is John Garcia, aka Stay Puffed, the Metal Marshmallow, and your friendly neighborhood headbanger. On today's episode, we have a first for Spinning the Wax. My guests are two-thirds of the Portland, Oregon dark rock band Hoaxed, vocalist and guitarist Kat Keogh, and bassist and vocalist April Dimmick. Rather than just settling on one record between them, they come at me from both sides with two. Well, 1.5, but we round up to 2. We start with April's pick, the absolute classic British Steel by heavy metal legends Judas Priest, a favorite of mine as well, before then transitioning into 2000s gothic emo rock with AFI's Sing the Sorrow. Along the way, we chat about our love for Judas Priest and Rob Halford, how AFI has sneakily influenced Kat throughout the years, Hoax's brand new album, Death Knocks, its creation, and how touring with various black metal bands over the past couple years helped inspire some of the musical directions that they took on the album. April also fills me in about how she made the incredible diorama that graces the cover of Death Knocks. We have such a lovely time, and I hope you do as well. This is episode 31 of Spinning the Wax, where April Dimmick and Kat Keogh of Hoaxed listen to Judas Priest and AFI. Please welcome to Spinning the Wax, Kat Keogh and April Dimmick from Hoaxed. Welcome, ladies. How are you doing today? It's so good to chat with you. April, are you hiding from your work in your car or something like that?
No, I have a contractor coming to fix my toilet. I have a dog, so I feel like that's going to be just a bunch of madness inside.
Yeah, just barking and flushing and like all of that other stuff going on. So thank you for retreating into the elements of it in order to chat with us. Kat, April, how are you all doing today? I know, Kat, it's been a while since we chatted, and we'll catch up on like all the incredible shit that's gone on since then. But just at this time, at this point, 9 a.m. Pacific time, how are you all doing, and how are you feeling about this record that is on the precipice of being released to the public?
So excited! I'm so happy to get these songs out. We've been sitting on these for, it feels like forever.
Yeah.
And like I'm just stoked to have people hear them and like actually be able to play them live, and just, I mean, it's like the secret that you keep forever and then you finally get to share it. It's rad.
Yeah, it felt like y'all were sharing like little tidbits about stuff coming soon on Instagram for like ever, and along with y'all, it was just like, okay, I'm waiting for it whenever it's ready to go. So it's been great to also as a fan to hear these songs and kind of sit with the record, which we'll talk about in a little while. Yeah, that's awesome. April, what about you?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, this is like, I've been in the band now for a while, but it's finally like, okay, now we can talk about like this member and me, and like just like being involved, because I got to be involved in the writing process. So it's like, this is the first time I'm also like being represented by a label. So it's like, oh, this is like, so like, it's so cool. And it's like dreams come true kind of stuff. And like doing the PR and like doling the stuff out and finally getting to show off the music is like, it's just so exciting. Like I really like, it's amazing. Like my whole life, like thinking that something like this couldn't happen. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's happening like right now and in the present. And just trying to like have gratitude and like appreciate every moment, because it's going to be like, it's going to go by so fast, like this, like this particular run of everything. And like, yeah, I'm just really stoked to be part of the writing and be finally showing it off to people. It's really cool, and it's been fun, like doing all the fruits of our labor, you know, like it's a fun process. And now it's like yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I could tell just from, the behind the scenes stuff that y'all share, the videos, the snippet of creating the album art, which I will definitely want to dive into a little bit later. Just y'all look like you're just having so much fun, and I think it comes across in the music, it comes across in the socials, and I would assume on stage. I haven't seen you yet, unfortunately, because I don't think y'all have come anywhere close to Nashville recently, but one of these days it will happen. And yeah, I'm just so stoked for you. And April, I love what you said about, never thinking that this is going to happen, and now it's happening, and you're just trying to, get all, soak it in, because I think many of us, especially those of us that are, in our mid 30s or beyond that nowadays, will sometimes be like, the boat has sailed for some of the stuff that I want to do, creative endeavors or anything like that. And the truth is that no, it really, it hasn't. It's just a matter of, circumstances and drive and all that other stuff. So I'm fucking stoked that you get to experience this with the band.
Yeah, totally. Thank you.
Yeah, and you won't. And because how did y'all meet? I guess because I know Kat, you and Kim go back a long time in playing, and I assume April that y'all probably knew each other from the local scene in Portland and stuff like that. But because you were playing with the band live before it was announced you were an official member, is that correct? Right? And then it's just no, the duo has expanded to a 3-piece because this has worked so well, and we're stoked. So like, kind of how did that all start materializing?
Yeah, so what was it, 2021, Kat?
Yeah, I think that was like the official. That was the first show. We've never played a show without April as Hoax, so that's like
incredible,
for us,
cool.
she's like always been part of it. But yeah, 2021 was our first show, December of 2021.
So we had, we had a keyboardist too for that first show, like a month or 2 months to practice like a full set, and I was like, oh my God, I've never had to do anything like this before, but like, I'm so up for the challenge. And Kat and Kim made it really easy for me. They like sent me bass tracks, or the song tracks where the bass was louder than everything else. Cause I was like, I need to be like babied through this. But it worked out really well. And it was like, I felt like this is my chance, to do the thing. And like, this is like pro level. And then, yeah, we did a tour with Amorphous Iwata and Sylvain and I was just the fill in at that point, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm the live musician.
I mean, I don't think we ever felt that way, but yeah.
You just hadn't told her yet that she was an official member.
We like literally proposed to her, like we're with her, just like we want to. Like, and she was like, "Am I not already?" We're like, "No, this is the moment. Like this is the moment." Like,
just let it happen. Just let yeah.
It's wild to hear you say that too, April. Like I forgot that. Like we sent you like bass tracks and that kind of thing, and now you're like writing all the tracks on this latest album and like blowing what we did out of the water. It's like wild that's where it started.
Yeah. You made it really easy for me to join. So I was like, okay, how could I not?
Yeah. And, Kat, that was kind of going to be my next question about that, as far as like, with you and Kim going back, over a decade now at this point, I guess now close to 15 years or something like that. We'll brush past that. But, certainly sometimes it's going to, there could be challenges with like bringing other people in. I remember you talking about that's kind of why you stayed as a duo, is just because everything that you and Kim could do, you did yourself. But it seems like it was a natural fit, and then it just kind of was an extension of everything that you were doing. So yeah, I mean, I was going to ask how you brought April in, but it just sounded like it was just a natural extension of the way that Hoaxed was going.
I think natural is the perfect word. Like, you had asked earlier how we knew April. Like, yeah, we know April from the scene. Like, Kim and April go back pretty far. And like, I have this early memory of like running into April before I like officially knew her at like an artist thing. It was the Moto 1 show, April. And like, yeah, and like seeing her there and just being like, this person is so cool. Like whoever this is so rad. And like, I think my friend Kim knows her. And then now we're like in a band together and see each other like multiple times a week. But I think we always were like in each other's orbits. And then when we needed a bass player, we didn't even, it was just like, oh, April, like we know April. This is the person. Hopefully she says yes. And and then making her an official part. It's really just, we've never played a show without her. It just feels like she's always been here with us. And while Kim and I we're kind of leery at first for adding other people, like you mentioned. It just, it was so natural. There was no question.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy because I feel like in another few years, it's just gonna be, you're gonna have people that have been following the band that had never even knew you as a two-piece or anything like that. You'll forget that that was even a thing because you've been a three-piece longer than you've been a two-piece. I just think that it's very cool that it happened that way and that y'all have, still been able to write and do. And, Kat, before we get into the double dose of picks that we have today, real quick, we talked about the fact that Uwata, Amorphous Sylvain show, so diverse in the lineup and so many different, feels and vibes with the bands. And then y'all go out and tour with Wolves in the Throne Room and Black Braid and like a bunch of other black metal bands and stuff like that. On top of, playing with High on Fire and like all of these other bands that you've had, such an incredible chance to play with. But specifically for that Wolves in the Throne Room tour, again, a tour I was just jealous was going everywhere else but where I was currently at in whatever month or week it was in that time. What was it like being kind of like the soft band to like open everything up? And I know like, Gadia and Wolves in the Throne Room have melody and they have different parts of them. And there's also, we talked about it before, crossover with anything, but just, you're going into, three various black metal bands and then you have this, dark rock trio opening the proceedings to kind of set the tone and stuff like that. How was that tour and what was that experience like for you to kind of like, or for the band to just be in this really diverse band in a black metal lineup?
Yeah. April, do you want to go first?
I loved it. I was like, this is so sick because like we obviously don't play black metal.
Yeah.
Like, but I love black metal, so it's like being in the element of like, oh, these are my people. Was like very, very good and very cool. And I was like, I'm glad we're getting paired with this because yeah, we are like the soft opener, like, hey everybody, let's get the night started. But I think it's still like we're rooted in like, heaviness. So
right.
I think it was just like like it was interesting. I think somebody even like called us a black metal band on that tour. And I was like, that's a very interesting take because we are definitely not. But
put a pin in that because I will come around to a song on the new album about that. But yes, please continue because I love that you said that.
I think, well, also maybe that inspired because that was the tour before we really started hunkering down on writing.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that's an interesting perspective. Like, yeah, I had a blast like doing it. The tour was great. Like everybody was like really easy to like get along with. We had like a big karaoke night one night together and
like 34 of us rolled up in like Lubbock, Texas, like this tiny bar. It was just locals. And then we all just like rolled in the entire tour and took over their karaoke. It was.
Oh my God, that's incredible. They had no idea what's going on.
No, it was great.
I love that. Kat, do you have anything else to add on that?
Yeah, no, I think what April said, like, absolutely. I think there's a moment when we would, because we're opening the shows, people aren't really sure what they're in for.
Yeah.
And there's this moment, like, we've always had April's harsher vocals when we sing live. And I think, like, they see us and they get, like, an idea of what they think we're going to be like. And then there's, like, this moment where we kick into the songs. And Kim is, like, a machine on the drums back there. She's just blasting through beats. And April is singing, like, harsh vocals. And we're, like, doing the octaves that are, like, ringing out. And it's, like, there's just this shift moment where you can see the entire audience be like, oh, okay. And like they get bored with it. And that's like, it's especially as an opener, like that's a really rad moment. And like being on tour with all of those bands, like April said, I think really influenced our sound and changed the way that we wrote this next album just because every night we listened to them play those rad songs and it was great. They're all really talented.
So talented. I haven't seen Wolves in the Throne Room, but last year I got the chance to see both Gadia and Black Braid live and just like, fuck yeah, dude. Just and I'll get into more about what you learned and what you took from the tours and how that influenced your writing in this album in a little bit. But yeah, it just sounds so perfect because again, you know, I use the air quotes on soft because, again, it's not like, you know, Hoaxed is, you know, some like powder puff band or whatever that's singing about, you know, fairies or whatever, right? They're still digging everyone into like the fucking, you're basically like shoveling the graveyard dirt out onto the crowd before they get out onto.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's why we did Death Knocks as the next album, because it just felt like a natural progression of like, we talk a lot about the dark stuff and like we flirt a lot with the idea of death, and it was just like, let's do a full album about it. Like,
fuck yeah. And that's why I like the band so much, because that gets right after what a lot of my heart is in as well, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But we're here, April and Kat, to listen to music, and I think what we're gonna do, I'll put this in as a two-parter for everyone. But we have two different albums that both April and Kat have brought in. April has decided to go with the hard-charging British Steel by one of my very favorite and formative bands, Judas Priest, and Kat is going with another very formative band and a huge, basically a band that changed people's brain chemistries in the early 2000s, AFI and their seminal classic, Sing the Sorrow. We'll figure out which one goes first, but do you want to rock, paper, scissors about who wants to talk about their album first and why you brought it on?
I happily give the floor to April if you want to go.
Well, Judas Priest, number one. That's all. I feel like that's all I have to say. Judas Priest, super like formative music for me, and it was hard to pick like an album because I almost went with Painkiller, but that just gets like really crazy. But I'm like, British Steel, I know like pretty much all the words to the entire album. And like that was when like they got like harder and heavier as a band and really sent home like the anthemic like songs, and then their aesthetic just got like really like studded out, and I just love all of it. So I was like that, yeah, okay, this is the one. This is like one of the greatest albums of all time. So
it's true. It's funny that you said that about Painkiller, because I always tell people that the best Judas Priest album, in my opinion, is Painkiller, but my favorite Judas Priest album is Defenders of the Faith, because that was the one that I think that might have been the very first record I heard from them, that, you know, listened to in full and everything like that. But I mean, really, at this point in their career, you just like, you pick an album and it's fucking like going to be one of the best albums that you've ever heard. Just like their run from Sinner or Sin After Sin until probably fucking, if we forget about Point of Entry, until Painkiller, just like all of those albums are incredible. Kat, what's your experience with Judas Priest?
I was raised, my mom's a metalhead, and so Judas Priest was like one of those ones that's in that mix for me. So for me, yeah, Priest is like a very nostalgic band, which I feel like almost does them a disservice, because like they're a classic legendary band, and I'm like, my mom likes them. Like, it's a little bit like,
well, your mom is fucking cool, so like, yeah.
Yeah, but like I got to see them live a few years back with my mother, and like that experience was just absolutely rad. Like obviously they don't perform the way that they used to, but they're still out there, they're still doing it, and it was really cool to like have that full circle moment with my mom.
What year was that? Because I actually think that they've gotten better live. Like after Angel of Retribution, they started to dip a little bit, and then when Richie Faulkner joined the band, their live sound started to get a little bit better. So I was just curious when you saw them.
Oh, it was definitely post-COVID. Do you remember that year, April? It was when they were at the Moda Center.
I saw them at the here in 2018, but then they played when probably you saw them the next time. So I don't remember if it was 21 or 22,
maybe.
It was 20, yeah. No, it would have been, maybe it was the pre-COVID one. I'm trying to think, I'm like, were people wearing masks?
I saw them on the Firepower tour.
Okay, I think that might have been.
That would have been pre-COVID. Holy shit! Yeah, it's like we think that 2019 is like 2 or 3 years ago, but like it's really not. Everybody.
And I'm trying to think too. I'm like, when was? I think actually it would have been pre-COVID. It's the one where Kim and April got the box at the Moda Center at that story.
The box?
The box.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Well, either way, yeah, I saw them. I saw them recently, and I can't. They're one of the bands that I've seen the most of. Any heavy metal bands. I've gotten a chance to see them. Since 2005, I think was the first time that I saw them when I was still a budding metalhead, learning about things and all that other stuff. But yeah, I think that they still sound fucking great. I was at the Louder Than Life performance where Richie Faulkner's heart exploded during the Painkiller solo. Had no fucking idea what was going on. I found out about it a couple of days later. But yeah, dude, British Steel. I think that there are so many songs, and obviously people will think about Breaking the Law, Metal Gods, everything like that. But You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise, I think is one of the most underrated Judas Priest songs in the fucking history of their discography. And it just I love this record.
I do have to say though, when I saw them live, they did not play Breaking the Law, and it was kind of one of those moments.
Interesting. Okay, weird.
Whatever. You can play whatever you want, whatever set you can do. But I was also kind of like, but maybe you should have played that one.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, because it's always like Breaking the Law, Living After Midnight, and you've got another thing coming, or like the 3 songs that they're going to play. And I'm for it. One of the things that I love about going to see Judas Priest live or Metallica live versus again, my favorite band of all time, ladies, is Iron Maiden. But of course, for the next 2 years, the set list is set in stone. We're going to go see an Iron Maiden show. With a Metallica or Judas Priest, I feel like they pull out a lot of deep cuts and a lot of things that you wouldn't expect from them. And I guess not playing Breaking the Law, they're like, fuck it, we've played this song 7 million times over the last 40 years, so we're gonna go.
With I respect, but I'm also could it have been another show that you decided to do that?
yes, exactly. I thought that they were going to play Turbo one year because they had the Turbo Love art come in on the backdrop and everything like that. And I was waiting for that synth to go, and I was like, all right, let's go. And then they started playing Out in the Cold. And I was like, what the fuck? That is the weirdest thing. I'm for it because that's a great song. But yeah, I don't know. I love it when bands do fuckery like that.
Yeah. I mean, why not? We deal with this all the time too. You build your set list and it's for the people you're playing for, but it's really for you.
Exactly.
You want to play.
You're the one deciding it, not them.
Yeah, exactly.
Since I've never had this is a first on Spinning the Wax. I've never had 2 people double team me with 2 albums. Let's it's okay. I love it. There are no rules on this show, and that's one of the reasons why. Yeah, let's go. So before we start listening to anything else, let's pause the Judas Priest talk because obviously we could just go forever unhinged. We'll be here for 5 hours. Kat, tell me about AFI's Sing the Sorrow, because while I kind of went a different direction, this was a band that, their Girls Not Grey was on, Much Music, TV, and Fuse TV, and MTV, and every VH1, all over the place. It was when YouTube started burgeoning, it was all over that. Everyone that I know in middle school and then in high school was listening to this. And this was I feel the split where the people that I was growing up with is either went down the punk and hardcore route and indie route or the heavy metal route or something like that. So yeah, tell me about this record and why you picked it today.
Yeah, I mean, it blends so many genres, I think, is one of the main things. I was really into this record when I was a lot younger, when I was a teenager. I thought this record was fantastic, and then I kind of forgot about it. And recently I started re-listening to it, and just even when we were talking about this interview, I pulled it up and was having a geek out moment, listening to some of these songs, oh God, the things they put in these tracks. I feel it's a really standout record. It's so dark. It's so catchy. I mean, the blend of Davey does those really harsh vocals, but then he also does beautiful vocals, but I feel he brings the power from the harshness in there. It's not a metal album, but I feel there's a lot of elements in here that just influence me in metal.
Definitely. Well, especially, AFI has influenced so many bands, be it, punk or rock or metal or anything like that, especially, as I'm sure that we'll talk about how they basically change every album, maybe not to huge degrees and stuff like that, but every album is a different experience, especially as you get farther in their discography. And especially with a band like Hoax, that kind of dark, gothic, morose, and melancholy feel is draped all over Hoaxed's music, and I could absolutely see this record and all of AFI being a huge influence on the music for that.
I think it was I mean, it definitely was. And I don't think I really realized it until I went back and started listening to this album after we'd recorded. And I was like, oh man, there's a lot of stuff in here that like, I feel like directly influenced Hoax without me even realizing it.
Yeah.
Like the mixing of like sound effects. There's like certain songs feel like they're like 4 songs combined. There's like the strings. There's a lot of things in there that we have in our latest record. And I wouldn't have said that it was influenced by that, but like listening back to it, it had to have been.
Isn't it funny how that happens sometimes? Is like something is so pivotal to your growing up, then you don't even realize it until like much later. I did this later. So in 2020, beginning of 2024, I got medicated for ADHD, and now I can read books again. And I'm so happy. I've just been reading fucking so many books. And I reread Mary Shelley's Frankenstein for the first time since like 3rd or 4th grade. And I realized how much that book influenced both the books that I love, the cinema that I love, the music that I love, the kind of feel of, again, the dark gothicness of everything. And just like, if it's got, ghosts or mystery or like haunted houses or, creatures, just like give it into me. And so like that, I love the fact that, Sing the Sorrow is going to light up dopamine receptors for so many people just by saying the name of the record. And that's fucking cool to see. Now, as I listen to this one, I'm going to be thinking about, the new record. And then when I listen to the new record again, I'll be like, all right, how is that going to go? April, do you have any experience with AFI and this record? Or is this one of the ones in the band that you're just like, when we're cruising in the van, yeah, cool, I'll put it on, it's good?
Yeah, I have no history with AFI like at all, other than like Miss Murder, but
Yeah.
that's what I know. So
I did take Kim with me. I saw them twice recently, and I brought Kim with me to both of those ones. We went to When We Were Young Fest. They played there, and then we also saw them when they played in Portland. And like, yeah, they're incredibly theatrical. And now I'm like, well, April, next time you're coming.
You gotta have your notes. You're gonna be taking notes for all the stuff that we're gonna be doing.
To me, like seeing them live recently has been really cathartic to like watch them. And I mean, Davey, like shout out for being sober and vegan. I guess that guy moves like he's 23 years old around the stage, and just like. He's the energy this guy brings. He choreographs every single song. It's wild. And
he's not human. He's not human. He's from another planet. He's too gorgeous of a man. He's too good of a singer, too talented a musician, and apparently too spry of a man at whatever his like middle age or like getting through it that is. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're great. So yeah, you have to see them live. But I will also, if you see them live, I will check out their new stuff.
So we are ready to do this, and I guess this will be part 1 of Spinning the Wax with Hoaxed. This is Judas Priest's 1980 album, their classic British Steel. In 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah, dude. In the 2010s, now people still do this now, but when it was all the rage for legacy bands to go and play albums front to back, like Megadeth was doing Rust in Peace, and Metallica was doing Master of Puppets. Judas Priest did a tour where they did British Steel. We bought tickets off of Craigslist from a dude who won them for free at a radio station, and we met him at a venue that doesn't exist anymore before we were playing a show so that he could hand over the tickets, because he was like, I won these, they're free, like I was hoping for Green Day tickets and I got Judas Priest tickets, so here, you guys can have that. Right, yeah, exactly. I don't know. So we went and we saw, and long story short, we were up in the nosebleeds or whatever, and we were like, I bet we could get down there. So we passed, the security, went through, and we were front row by the time that this started playing. So during this, we're just like, yeah. So by the time Breaking the Law kicked in, the ushers were coming with their tickets and whatever. It's like, yo, show me. And so they kicked us out. We're like, you got to get out of here. So I'm running down the aisles, high-fiving people or whatever, because I'm just like, British Steel is playing. I just got kicked out. Like I snuck front row to Judas Priest. I'm with one of my best friends. Everything is right in the world. One of my best concert memories.
Wait, did you say that Breaking the Law was playing as you were getting kicked out?
I believe that was what was happening, yeah. Let me see. Because they started with this one, this Metal Gods. Yeah, we made it 3 songs. Because we made it through Metal Gods, and then when Breaking the Law was playing, we got kicked out. Yeah.
That's bad. I think Metal Gods, actually, that's probably one of my favorite metal songs.
It's so good.
It's great. There's just like the like multi like layered harmonies and like the metal god. Like I know that one's coming out next, but that one, shout out to that song for being classic.
I have some trivia for that too when we get to it. April, what was your? So Kat was saying that her cool mom listened to Judas Priest. So this is, she doesn't remember a time without Judas Priest. But what was your introduction to Judas Priest?
I mean, it wasn't my parents. They're not into hard rock or heavy metal. They probably high school. Like, I don't know if British Steel was the first album I heard, but I think probably like I'm feeling like Painkiller sticks out as like the memories of like introduction to Judas Priest. And then I don't know, just being interested in metal and like listening to their various albums over time. I mean, what a trajectory of sound! Like the evolution of that band is like so insane. But like with such longevity, like sure, why the hell not? Like, but yeah, I don't know. I've always just been into Judas Priest. I don't remember when it started, but probably just like as a budding metalhead in my teens. Like, yeah.
The very same. I actually, here we go. Get the like sound effects and then just ding, 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 ding. In iterations, when Halford was doing his solo act, when he would play this live, it would be down tuned to like D standard or something like that. It would sometimes a little bit slower, and then he would every once in a while at the end like do like, do death growls at certain parts and things like that. Just this song, for being 1980, and kind of like this is kind of like poppy sort of chorus right here, or whatever, but so fucking heavy, which is like that chugging right there, So this album was recorded in the same place that the Beatles recorded. I think it was one of John Lennon's old houses. I think is like where they were.
What?
It was Ringo Starr's house.
That's it. Yeah, Ringo Starr's house. Yes. And they were talking about how they were in, Halford was on the piano where, John Lennon was recording songs and stuff like that. And they're like, we have no fucking business being in this studio over here. But during this part right here, you'll hear like this, it sounds like chains through their sound effects. They had silverware in a drawer that they pulled out from the kitchen that they were just like, moving around like troubadours or fucking like buskers or something like that. I'll point it out when it comes, but they were saying they're doing all these weird fucking things in the studio that they're like, we don't feel like we belong here, but fuck it, we're gonna make use of it.
That's rad. We actually used a silverware sound effect on our album for like a battle scene. Part of like the swords crossing is just silverware because that.
Oh, seriously? That's the Fallen, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
fuck yeah. I love that song. I'll talk about that in a little bit because that's one of my favorite songs on the new album.
Oh, great. Sick. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, April, kind of building off what you were saying, I'm okay to admit this now because it's about, 20 years after I discovered Judas Priest. But at the time, for, wanting to be like a cool metalhead, I was like, I wouldn't admit this to people that were true with the V and everything like that. But my first iteration with actually knowing Judas Priest songs was through Chris Jericho's band Fozzy, because their first two albums were cover records. They were like, they had this weird story of like the band got stuck in Japan in the 80s and all the big metal bands, stole all their songs and then became huge. So they were taking them back. So they had all these covers of, Ozzy and Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and everything like that. So on their second album, they have a cover of Free Will Burning, which starts the album. And I was like, the dual guitar solos, like, this is the craziest thing I've ever fucking heard. No idea it was a cover at the time. And then when I was like investigating, I was like, oh. So that's when, I was like, I got Defenders of the Faith to listen to that. And that's where my love of Judas Priest came out. Oh, right here. You hear that?
Oh, that's silverware?
That's silverware in a drawer. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, fucking crazy. So yeah, thanks, Chris Jericho, for introducing me to Judas Priest.
Go, Chris.
We all have our ways, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I feel like this song is a perfect song for you, April. It just fits. I mean, like even what you're wearing right now fits your vibe so well. It's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Rob Halford would be very happy and proud, and maybe even just a little bit jealous of the get up right now.
I don't know. I mean, like, shout out to a legend too. He's so incredible. He's such an icon and just so unashamed to be himself.
I am so happy that he has just blossomed into the person that he wants to be after living, almost 4 decades, in a lie and not being authentic and not being able to be who he wanted to be. I have his book over here, his autobiography, which if I've talked about it before on this show before, Confess is an incredible book for anybody that loves heavy metal, autobiographies, metal autobiographies, music, behind the scenes, inside baseball in general. Just for anybody who loves Judas Priest, it's a fucking incredible book.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet, but it'd be good to have.
It's that was actually one of the first books I was telling you I'm able to read again. That was one of the first books that I was able to actually like complete in one setting after that. So
I'm still surprised that you watched or that you read Frankenstein when you were in third or fourth grade. That is a heavy book for like.
I went through a period where I was trying to read all of the classics, like Invisible Man. I didn't read Dracula. I actually didn't read that until just about a year or so ago. But Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Frankenstein. And now that I'm remembering, I think it was dumbed down a little bit because I had like the Signet Classics book that I was reading recently, and it was just words and text where I vividly remember illustrations and pictures and stuff like that. So it was a dumbed down version of her book. But yeah, it was about third grade, I think, when I read that.
I mean, you say that you're a nerd. I'm just like, yes. I mean, we are in metal. We all,
right, exactly. What gave it away, really, huh?
Like, metal is, I mean, for like not to be too cruel about it, but it's cosplaying confidence to a point. We're all just like nerds that we love the technical side. We love all the things we put into the lyrics. That's all like a deep dive into something we're super stoked at. And,
yeah.
We like to geek it out.
Okay, so speaking of geeking out, I saw your Instagram post on the Hoaxed page about putting together the album art for Death Knocks and everything like that. So I flipped the fuck out because I am trying to get into like miniatures and models and building like little small towns and stuff like the old people that are the train people, like you see in the estate sales. I don't want to be a train person, but I still want to like make some like haunted little towns or something like that in there, just like a little, maybe like a 4x4 square of like a city block. So when I saw that the album art was not just like drawn or computer, it was actually a fucking like 3D model that you put in like a diorama with fog and all that shit. Please tell me about this, and where do I go to the crafts? What section of the craft store do I go to get all like the fucking felt board or the foam board or whatever it is so I can start making my little spooky towns, Kat?
Well, it's April. This is all April.
Oh, it was April. Oh shit, I'm sorry.
We all work together, like assembling the diorama for the, final for the shoot.
Yeah.
But I hadn't done something like that really before. I had the vision. I was like, I want there to be like this like tomb, like a crypt mausoleum, like forefront. And I'm like, oh, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I started with like, first I started just like with trash. I found some like free styrofoam like down the street in a pile on like Facebook next door, and somebody's like, "Yeah, there's a pile." So I raided the pile and I got like just like like thick styrofoam pieces, and that was what I used to create like the four walls of the building. And then I was like, okay, I don't know. Like I was constantly trying to figure out what I was doing because I was just like watching some different like YouTube tutorials about like how to like do it, but then I got like spray foam, and I started like thinking like, okay, like I'll bulk it out with some spray foam. And I did that. And then as far as like the fine detail, that's when I went to like the hardware store and I got that purple foam that's like for insulating.
Yeah.
And then I just like cut it up. I made a big mess. Like I like was like getting foam particles all over my living room. And then I had to stop doing that. So I made like I saw somebody on Instagram, they made their own like plastic container box that they could like put their hands into and like sand stuff. So like stuff's not getting everywhere.
Okay.
So I like
Like the
made
NASA like sanding box with like the rubber gloves that you like. Like
yeah, like a sandblaster situation, but very DIY.
Oh, that's awesome.
it was rad.
So I did that to keep going, but then I started like stopped sanding it as much too because I was like, this is just like so toxic, probably.
Yeah.
You can't
yeah,
die while you're making the Death Knox art. It's not allowed.
What?
You can't die while you're making the Death Knox art. It's not allowed.
I know it's live by the I don't know. Anyway,
Live by the foam, die by the foam, I guess.
exactly. But yeah, then I made all like the pieces like individually, like I like all the bricks are individual, like you could see from the video, just like snapshot of like all of those just glued on.
Yeah.
And then what I did to like coat it was I made like a mixture like cement. Like I got actual like concrete and like mixed it up and like painted it on. So
Okay.
it gave it that like stone texture.
Yeah.
And then I just gave it like a finished like patina with just like some acrylic paint and like staining. So it looked like drippy and like, like covered in moss. And then we actually covered it in moss by the end. But the roof I made out of seltzer water boxes, like to get the frame for like I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And I just started like taping like the cardboard together.
God, that's so cool.
And all the shingles on the roof are all individual foam pieces. Like it was a lot.
Was so fun to like text messages around because April was like, I'm gonna do this thing, I want to do it. And we were like, great, go for it. Like whatever you want to do, make it. And then we get like these random text messages of her just being like, I don't know how to make the shingles curved. And we were like, I literally have no idea how to.
I was like, asking the wrong person. I'm here for support, but like, I don't know how to tell you how to do this.
Yeah, like the Sandy thing. She's like, there's like stuff all over my house. Like she would just figure them out. So it was like a fun journey to go through with April as she like made this mausoleum.
How long did it take?
Oh, too long. I had like a big break in the middle of it because I was just like, I don't know where to go. Like I just had it like on hold for a bit. So it took a few months, but it was like 2 years of conceptualizing it in my brain.
Wow.
And so, because I was like, when it's time to work on the art, I'll work on it. And then it was like, okay, now it's time. Okay, now we're running out of time. Okay, gotta get this done.
We were in the studio when you showed me the first, like that little render pencil drawing that you made. That was in the studio. So it was like right around the time.
We were recording the album. Well, like one of us was doing, probably UCAT doing takes. I was just sketching like, oh yeah, okay, it's time to do the album cover. I'll sketch out like the concept art of like what I'm envisioning.
If you haven't picked up by now, just a big fan of creepy stone dwellings with little graveyards in front of them. So
we do have a band story that this is kind of like based on. We saw a mausoleum. Actually, I guess it was a crypt in real life when we were in New England and had like a real intense encounter, and that's kind of like.
Ooh, please tell me, because I've had I can relay the encounter that my girlfriend and I had in the vaults of Edinburgh, like underground in the city and shit like that.
Ours is not going to be the same level of intense. That sounds like an incredible story. Ours is that we met a very drunk man at like 9 a.m. who claimed to be the groundskeeper. He was like, I am the keeper of the cemetery. And then very clearly was not. It was just some random guy that was like showing us around the cemetery. And we're like in the middle of nowhere. We were looking for, oh God, what's her name? April.
Mercy Brown.
Thank you. Mercy Brown's grave, which is like the last vampire in the U.S.
Yes.
And this guy showed us where it was. Like, he actually knew where it was, but we got the impression that he just lives close to the cemetery and, like, drifts over and, like, oh, let me show you around.
You didn't find his name on a headstone, like, 2 hours after you had this tour, did you?
Well, that would have been the best end of the story if we were just like, and then there was the Mercy Brown grave and his grave. I don't even know what his name was.
But now we know what the third Hoax album is going to be about.
Greg. Like, a legit crypt, though, there that were, like, they used to put the bodies and, like, with like the sand mounds and everything, and it's one of the only times I've ever seen like a really like rudimentary crypt like that. It was very cool.
That's fucking great. I big fan of graveyards, cemeteries, all that stuff. Last year got to go to Highgate Cemetery when I was in London. I went to London for a show. they did put you in some, walk you some crypts where you could just see cracked open caskets with like bones hanging out of them and everything like that. Just like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
When I was in Italy, like years ago, I went to an open, like you would go downstairs and like they had all the, it was like a crypt underneath the ground, but they had all of the people preserved on the walls.
Yeah. Oh, I'd like, not in like like they were hanging on the walls?
They're like hanging on the walls.
Holy
And they all have, like, this is probably a little bit disrespectful, but they all have like the jerky skin, because they're like well preserved people. And that was like such a harrowing experience to be like, these people are like 400 years old and I'm just hanging out with them. They're right there. It was wild.
I had a similar experience. There's a church. I'll have to look it up, but I was also in Dublin because the crypt is underground. It's actually been naturally mummified. I'm sure it's like what you were seeing in Italy. And the guy was showing it to us, and there's no light down there. He's got his like lantern or his torch or whatever, showing there's all these other bodies around, but you can just very clearly see this this person in this tomb, and they like had to snap his legs in order to get him into the crypt because I guess he was too tall for that time, and you can just see him there. I'm just like, exactly what you said, like, this person died, and now hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years later, no idea that there's just people from all around the world just being like, "Guh," like looking at you, then going away.
I know. It's, who knows what happens when we pass. That's not what I would have guessed, but
no. No, I'm sure that there's plenty of hauntings in there. But hey, what happens when you pass? It's almost like you guys write songs about that a lot, huh?
Yeah.
April, we're on You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise right now. I fucking love this song. This same old lies, the way that he does that like falsetto into that is so fucking good.
Yeah, the power behind this one is great.
He's got and in hindsight, this makes sense, but in this song, Rob Halford is so cunty, and I love it so much, the way he's just like, you don't have to be old to be wise, or whatever, just like, yes, how did we not know?
Right? That's my thing, like, the confidence and, like, the things he puts, like, I mean, I know this is not why, but one of the songs is called Grinder, and it's like, how did we not
Literally,
know?
Eat Me Alive or Jawbreaker, all those on, in the book, he was talking about, at first, because he has this song on Sin After Sin where he mentions Fire Island, and he says, that's where everyone was going to know, and that's what but nobody picked it up, so he just kind of slowly started working things in every once in a while. It's like, yeah, I guess you could think about it as, a guy and a girl, but it ain't.
No. I mean, that's with us doing music, like when you put these songs out here, like for me, it's so clear what these songs are about because we sit with them for so long and we're so like, this is clearly the theme. And then someone will come back to you with what they think it's about. It's always different. It's always like, oh, wow, it totally could be about that too. And it's just, I mean, music's so subjective. It's whatever you want it, however you relate to it. So it's one of my favorite parts.
It took me till the end of last year to realize how sexual Eat Me Alive is. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's on the list, that famous list that Tipper Gore made with all the, she bop and all the like the two sexual songs, the two satanic songs and whatever. Eat Me Alive is on that list.
So funny.
Man,
I was like, oh, I'm so ignorant.
Well, but like that's the thing, right? When you especially albums like this where you've just been listening for so long, you just kind of take for granted some of the words that I can't remember what it was, but there's something I went back to even just a couple of weeks ago that I've been listening to for like 10, 15 years, and I was like, I actually didn't know that was the line that they were saying, and now I feel like I should be ashamed of that, but.
To be executed.
Yeah, I know, right? How dare I? I do want to go back. So I was mentioning The Fallen. Yeah, one of my favorite songs on that one, which, as we haven't really talked about the record so far a lot, but you have a lot of time. I have really been enjoying going back to this record because I think that this one is a little bit of a grower for me, where it's like I liked it when I first listened to it, but then as I've kind of gone back and the songs have kind of haunted me, I guess, for lack of a better term, the melodies will stick in there. Each time I go back to it, it's like, oh, like things kind of like unfurl and reveal. And I was, I was like my third listen or whatever, and I was just in the middle of, I was like halfway through the Fallen, and at some point, just like, I love this, and I had to go back and like start it over again to do that. So, how did that song develop? And I guess that's kind of like a broader sense of the 8 days that you spent in the studio, just kind of really just hammering these songs together. So I'll have some questions about the studio experience, but yeah, tell me about how the Fallen came together.
Yeah, that's. I love that you said that because I think that's my favorite song off the new record. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I love them all. Like, they're all our children, but like that one in particular, like we play that one almost every time we get together and practice. There's just something about that song that like we all really enjoy. And yeah, like from the beginning when we did all the sound effects, like we got to geek out on that, be real cinematic.
Yeah.
April actually lent her voice to the beginning part. I don't know if you caught that at all.
Is that the harsh vocals or the singing vocals?
The guy who's like yelling formed the line.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, we had like a couple of comments where people were like, "Oh yeah, I must have like brought in a friend to do that." We're like, no, that's April. Like that's just
that's why she's got the medal credit, everybody, because she can make you think that she's a general on the front lines. Well, it's funny, in my notes I wrote that both with the kind of the subject matter and the lyrics and everything like that, and the beginning of that, I was like, Hoax is channeling their inner Manowar on this song, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, that was, I mean, the overarching theme of that song is like marching to your doom, knowing that you're probably gonna fail, and like what comes next is death, but doing it because it's what you believe in. It's like what you feel like you're required to do, and like that was kind of the overarching theme when we wrote the hook first, and the lyrics just kind of like naturally melded to it. It was a song I've been working on for a while. And then April helped me out with some of them too. Like I could not figure out, like I was like, foretold by what is the, like what foretells this battle? And April was like the Norns, like the like mythical fates. Like of course that's what it had. So it was like all of us kind of came together on that song to make the message what it was. And yeah, that song is really fun to play. I like those end builds are so fun.
That's it. It just like grows as it goes, and I think that it like develops and it unfurls, and I think that's one of the reasons why it took a couple of listens to really be like, wait a second, no, the where it starts and where it goes are like completely different. It's just almost like this big crescendo of a song,
For sure. Yeah, we got to layer these like really high harmonies.
It's like once Kat added the lyrics, because that came after like it, I was like, I love this song. Like it just like it changed so much, just like having the lyrical content in it, because I was like, oh sick, this is a battle song now. Like like even before we came up with the sound effects, just like playing it with the lyrics, it was like, oh, okay, sweet. Like I'm really glad we have a song like this in the album. It's just like it does like bring home the like definitely like metal vibes. And then it's simple, but like that's like I really like the simplicity of the song, because the crescendo and the buildup with like the layers of like the vocals and stuff at the end, I'm like, it's so sick. Like I love the way it moves.
I love the simplicity in the song, and I think again, just where it falls in the sequential order, and like coming after a song, a couple songs after like Kill Switch, which is like super heavy song in there. I think it's fucking cool.
Thank you. That's we just recorded the music video for Kill Switch last weekend, and yeah, and we did a user generated content video. So we like had our friends and family come and like film us on their phones, and yeah, sharing that energy with people and like seeing them get into it was really
well, and with that song specifically too, I felt that was April, kind of, you're like, I am here, I'm in this band, this is my moment, this is my song, because like the bass, I know it's pronounced throughout the album, but just there's some that spot where it's like you're only doing your stuff and you can hear it just so in front of everything, and yeah, I just like just hearing those like that like power bass come through on that, just like fuck yeah, like I'm ready to go in this album, let's do it.
Yeah,
thank you. That was written like towards the end, right, Kat?
Yeah, it was one of our later songs, like right before we went to the studio.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling so much more like confident in that point of the writing process. So I was really stoked, because I felt like what I was doing on the bass was just like different, but it like obviously like goes with everything. And I was like, I was like, this is sick. I'm like, this is like not like Rush at all, but something about it reminds me of Rush. And I'm like,
Interesting.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah, and the lyrics in that song, I wrote that for Furiosa, so that's based on like Mad Max.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I remember when we chatted about, you're talking about how you always have lyrics going and, you know, always have notes. Is that something that you still do?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Cool.
I could probably write like 4 more albums right now with all the lyrics that I have rolling. But yeah, what I tend to do is I'll have like a theme that I want to write about. Like I love Furiosa. I think that character is so phenomenal, and I
Yeah.
wanted to do something, but like, you know, the trick is like I never want to be too on the nose. You got to like, it's a tribute, not like an exact takedown. And so
Yes.
that one was a little bit tricky because it's just without like directly being like the song is about Furiosa. Like it's
Driving in your cars, everybody, and like fucking going across the desert. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's like a lot of elements in that song, like even like the beginning like drum bass guitar part of like gong 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 gong, like that's like something, that sound is like pretty prevalent in the movie, and like there's a lot of
holy shit. Okay.
like and those things just kind of worked out. Like we wrote the guitar before we knew that that's what the song was going to be about, and it was just like, oh, it fits, like it just feels natural that this is what it's going to be about.
Yeah. Did you have you know, we talked before about the feel that you have in your songs, and sometimes you'll be like, after you do the music, you'll be like, what is the song about? What's, you know, what are the themes? What could this go? Did you have a hard time kind of narrowing down what of your lyrics you wanted to put into this record?
I don't think so. We definitely spent time on it to make sure that like these were the right ones, but a lot of these just really flowed together super easily.
Cool.
We would write these hooks and like Kim and April would put their parts on them, and then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, these are the lyrics. And like I felt like on Two Shadows we did a lot of like, I'd pair a lot of lyrics with different songs, and we'd be like, no, it's not the right fit. No, it's not the right fit. And we'd go back and forth. And with this one, a lot of them just fit right out of the gate, and we tweak them a tiny bit, but it was just like the vibe was there. It was the right match.
Cool. That's awesome.
I know. Well, I love when it works out that way. It's meant to be.
It's like you're doing something right.
I know, right?
So I have to pause the conversation for this. We're in Steeler right now, getting to the end of it, and this is the like, all right, everybody, to get your last energy out of the album, as we've got this just like driving beat in here. April, just the bass in The Rage, a dun 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 dun. That song is so good, and then the lyric, we were drinking beauty with our eyes. Like, what are you doing, Rob Halford?
Yeah, the Rage is interesting because like I watched that like British Steel documentary, and they're described as like the reggae influence, and I was like, whoa, I didn't even like ever think that listening to it.
Yeah,
but I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's definitely almost like the redheaded stepchild of the album, where it's like it's not quite a ballad, but it's not quite a like, you know, driving, you know, anthemic metal song, but it's got like atmosphere and emotion in it. I don't know. Again, talking about, I'm a sequencing nerd when it comes to albums and everything like that. And just this record, I know, I think originally they started with Breaking the Law first, but yeah, this record is just immaculately sequenced. Fuck yeah. British Steel by Judas Priest. April, I know you were mentally listening to that in your head as opposed to, you know, out in front of you, but anything else that you want to say or add about that album or Judas Priest?
Judas Priest is the best band ever. I know you're an Iron Maiden guy. It's a tough debate.
Yeah, they're right there though, because it's, you know, why pick one of them when you could have both of them, you know?
Exactly. All of it. Yeah, no, British Steel's a great album. All of Judas Priest is just incredible discography, incredible band. I'm glad I got to add them to this thing and make my mark as a Judas Priest fan.
Yeah, we haven't listened to a Judas Priest record yet so far on the show, so I'm very happy that not only was it that one, but that you get to bring it on. And yeah, Kat, anything else to add about that one?
No, I should have guessed that you were going to bring a Judas Priest one, but I was like, I wonder what she'll do. And this was perfect. This is like a perfect album for you.
Yeah. So everybody, go listen to Judas Priest. Doesn't matter where to start. I mean, we didn't even get into the fact you mentioned it a couple of times about the musical diversity and the differences that they had in records going up to this one. Like I did, I stream on Twitch, and there was a stream that I did that we were only listening to 70s Judas Priest songs, and like you could do a whole set list, for 2 hours just on those. And Victim of Changes is one of my, Sad Wings of Destiny is one of my all-time favorite records, and that was fucking 1976. Like 10 years before they did some of the records that they knew, like that people now still know about them. And still making incredible records, because Firepower and Invincible Shield are fucking phenomenal. Like, a band that's been around for 50 years shouldn't be making albums that good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like at that point you're technically allowed to phone it in if you want to, and like the fact that they're not is amazing.
And a lot of other bands do too. From when I listen to things going around, it's like, holy shit. So fucking good. So, Kat, now it's your turn.
I know.
It's time.
I'm also down to do an abridged version, because this album is over. I think it's almost an hour long.
Yes,
Whoa.
we could do an abridged version. And if you want to tell me what tracks that you definitely want to hear, I will cue this up and kick them out of my listening queue.
The top singles are like Leaving Song, Silver and Cold, Girl That's Not Gray. I feel like those three, like we have to touch on those. But
sure.
I mean, I can talk about anything about this album. We can just
okay. As we're getting into this record, what is it that you want? I'm sure that there are plenty of people that know exactly what to expect with this record, probably know it backwards and forwards. But for those who don't, those who aren't, too versed in AFI or just looking for something new, like what should we expect with this record? And, what is it about it that, we already answered. So what should people expect with this record?
Yeah, I love this record because I think it's like a great snapshot of what music was like at the time. Like there's like a heavy, strong emo presence in this record that like this, and when it came out, this was new. Like people weren't making music like this when they were doing it. But then there's also so many other elements. Like there's goth and there's hardcore. There's like some classic rock. Like there's guitar solos. This album to me just has so much packed into it. And each time I rediscover it, I get very excited about it again. It's definitely not like a singles record. I feel like it's which, I mean, in today's age everything is singles, and I really like going back to these kind of
for this guy. No.
I really like listen to it. That was when you asked us to bring a record for this, like that the band listens to. We were like, we're a playlist band. Like we just build these massive playlists and like go off, and it's times have changed.
April, is there anything that you want to say about this band or AFI, or do you just want to fucking get into it?
Just get into it.
Let's do it. Kat, I can already tell how excited you are about this record, and I'm excited to see you geek out and all of that other stuff. So let's do this. And if you want me to skip a song or whatever, or to cut things short, whatever, just let me know. But this is AFI's Sing the Sorrow in 3, 2, 1, play.
It's got the long intro, the like classic goth.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you gotta wait for it. Is like Sisters of Mercy songs that are like 10 minutes long for like the same 4-minute part going over and over again.
Yeah. It's got like April. I don't know if you're familiar with the intro to this album, but it's got like these really dark, like kind of like vibes, and it like builds up into like an anthemic end, which is I think is like a really good foreshadowing for how the rest of the album goes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm stoked. I'm stoked that we're listening to this.
Yeah. I love also you mentioned about how musically diverse this album is, because the past couple records before, and again, I'm not the authority on AFI, but very much like you listen to The Art of Drowning or something like that, and it's just like kind of hardcore punk, right? It's just like it's a punk record, and that's what they're doing. And this is not that. It's way, way, way more expansive than that. And then you can kind of see where they started to go afterwards with some of the records that they had, like the Blood album and stuff like that.
I mean, I feel like, they definitely started as a punk band. And I would say that like around this time, they were definitely becoming more of like a goth band.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
I mean, there's so much energy, but that's like people call us a goth band too. And I always kind of push back on that, because I'm like, well, Kim does so much with her drums. Like her drum beats are their own song. Like you can just listen to them, and like she plays like melodies with her drums. And I'm like, that is not an element of goth. But then I listen to bands like AFI, and I'm like, kind of is. Like that's it. It fits.
Yeah, well, and I was doing some deep diving way back about just like kind of the start of goth music and like the goth clubs in Britain and everything like that, and just the idea of goth music was just to get people all out onto the dance floor and moving and all of that stuff. So certainly with the expression, the expressiveness is what I'm trying to say of Kim's drums, which we talked about this before. And I wanted to ask her about like what she's done over the past few years since the last album, because her, like you said, her drums have always been expressive, and in some of the songs on Two Shadows, it's just like that is the groove, right? That is the hook of the song, is the drums. And I feel like in this album particularly, it's even kind of even more forefront of that a little bit more.
Yeah, I totally agree. And part of that is the way that Kim wrote it, but another part of that is we mixed with Arthur Wright, and that like the way that he did the mixing on the drums. I think it was a little bit more than Kim typically would expect, and it just worked so well. He sent us back the first take, and we were like, oh, like the energy he put into these songs was, I don't think something that we even anticipated being there, and he killed it.
If his name is on a CD, be it a mixing or a producing or anything on it, I'm like instant play. Just because, he's like literally like the bands that he's done, he just seems to know how to bring out the best in the bands that he's working with, whether he's actually in the studio with them or just hearing what they're doing. And he's someone that I want to have on this show really bad, because I'm sure that he could talk about different types of music for a while. But I thought it was really cool that, you went back to Gabe and then also had Arthur mix this as well, because I heard those with the drums, and then Kat, your voice sounds like 5 or 6 spectral beings like haunting around the headphones and everything like that, just kind of fading in and fading out, like you actually are this like gothic apparition haunting some house or something like that. Was that Arthur? Is that something that you talked with Gabe in the studio about?
Yeah, I think so. We go into the studio and like, I know what the lyrics are. We've been playing these songs together forever, but the backing harmonies, like what I do is I open up GarageBand and I just record a whole bunch of tracks. And then when we're in the studio, I'm like playing with them, deciding which ones we're actually going to put on the track. I record like 12, we use like 5. And, being in the studio this last time though, with like April doing vocals, with me doing vocals, like we kind of got like lost in the sauce a little bit. And so I think like, we just had so much fun and recorded so much stuff that at the end of the day, when it was on the chopping block, it was like, I don't want to lose this stuff. Like now it's part of the song and it's become so much more a part of the message and everything. So we definitely went harder on backing vocals and like doubling the vocals, and all April's parts are obviously in there that weren't in the last album. But it just worked. And yeah, Arthur's take on it, we sent him the album and he sent us back like a rough edit to be like, what do you guys think? And he put his own reverb on him. He'd like done all of his own vocal effects, and he just got it. Like they were just so perfect. He knew exactly what we wanted each song to sound like. He just understood the message and matched the mixing to it. It was great.
I love hearing that. And April with like kind of the same thing with the harsh vocals coming in, buoying Kat's voice, and also again kind of echoing around in the atmosphere and everything like that. I love to hear that you guys got lost in the sauce, because I myself and every other fan of Hoaxed, or anybody who's going to be a fan of Hoaxed, benefits from that.
Kim always loves to say, like, we'd put April in the box and she'd like start to scream and like do these vocal parts, and she couldn't hear us because she doesn't have the mic to hear us, but we could hear her, and it's just like on our side of the glass, we're like, like every time she does a take, we're just like, oh my god, it's so amazing. And she's like, was that good? And April or Kim and I are like on the floor dying, like that was so good. We had a really good time.
That's so cool. How long were you in the studio recording Two Shadows? Because that was more of a COVID-ish album. I know it was like after everything and stuff like that. Was it more amount of time or less amount of time than you spent with this one?
More.
Okay.
But we also, like, Kim and I did all the bass on that, and we're not, like, we wrote it and we can play it, but like we're not really bass players. So there was like a lot of extra time we spent there. I think we were really trying to find our sound a lot more on Two Shadows, that we just spent more time working things out. we definitely weren't as seasoned performers. Like my voice wasn't where it is now after singing live for so long. And it just took us a lot more time to suss out ideas. Whereas when we went in with Death Knocks, like, I mean, we even knew what the album was titled. Like we had it all pretty locked in, and it was just like finding the extra flourishes and doing that stuff. But I mean, we blew through these parts. It was like we did 2 days on drums, which is insane. And Kim just, it's wild.
So what's it been like? I'll start with Kat and then April, we can start with you. But what's it been like sitting on this shit for so long and not being able to get it out?
We actually thought it was going to come out in the fall of this year. So I think the fact that it's coming out in February, like, rad. Like it's faster than we thought it would be. But
Okay.
April, do you feel the same?
Yeah. We recorded it a year ago, basically. So it was like, and then we didn't know what was coming, and then we figured it was going to be fall this year. So we're like, okay, that's some time. It was kind of like, actually, it's February, like a few months ago. We're like, oh shit, like it's go time. We got to get all this like stuff ready, and like, okay, let's go. So I don't think it's like hair pulling, but it's like hunkering down and like making sure like we don't like miss a beat. Like Kat has been amazing at like organizing at just about everything as far as like lining things up, making sure like things are getting executed, and like coming through. Like Kat, you're doing such a good job at like making sure the flow is going smoothly, because it's a lot of work. Like it is a ton of work that you've taken on. And
we're content machines these days, which I mean, that's what you got to be an artist. It's like,
boy, don't I know it? Yeah, it's the fucking worst part of it, in my opinion. But it's like you got to do it.
You got to do it. Yeah, I mean, the good news is it's other ways for us to connect with people and share our art and our craft.
Yes.
Like the behind the scenes video you're talking about. With, like,
exactly. Like, so, like I would have never seen that and like fucking geeked out and be like, now teach me all of your skills, April. After that, so
it's good and bad, but it's also like April was saying, like all of a sudden now, you know, the lead up to the album coming out, it's like you got to, it's just the checklist of the steps, and you go through it all, but it's all going really well so far. I get to do stuff like this, so it's great.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for spending your time with me and wanting to chat and share your musical experiences and journeys and all that other stuff on here.
Silver and Cold is starting, and this is my favorite song on this album.
Let's go.
Yeah. I'm not actually sure what this song is about. I feel like it's about, there's like a deep religious aspect to it, but that's kind of weird, I feel like, to say about most of their music.
Yeah, but I guess, I think about this too, because sometimes you can sing about religion without being religious, and maybe, I don't know, it's part of the story. But yeah, I'm looking the lyrics up for this one right now.
I mean, I feel like we flirt with that a lot in Hoax. There's like, just the fallen. There's like the line of like, when you pray to your gods, do they answer at all? And it's like, it's definitely religious. Whatever you believe in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, because you can, spiritualist, or like, being spiritual without being religious, I know, is definitely something that people identify with a lot more nowadays. With like, paganism is having a big comeback too, for that very, very big reason.
I mean, it makes sense. It's like in a time when we're feeling like really out of touch with the earth, it makes sense that people are like finding some sort of spirituality to bring them back.
Yes, exactly. And also getting away from screens and TVs and like all of that other stuff, and just fucking, feet in the dirt, actually going to touch grass and every once in a while. So yeah, our front yard, I don't know what the other previous owners did, because our front yard has the best, nicest, softest, most springiest grass I've ever felt. Only in the front yard, not in the backyard, but only in the front yard. So a lot of times, not now when it's cold, but like when the weather's nice and I'm having a tough day, literally just like rip my socks off, walk out the front door, off of the porch into the grass, and just like stay there for a little bit. Cause it's like in the movie Die Hard, where the guy tells John McClane, just take your socks off and, put them on the ground for a little bit. That's me centering myself and trying to go out there. So there's a reason to it, I think. Yeah, you're right.
Oh man, just because you said that, my new thing that I'm on is like, I cannot believe nobody has remade Die Hard with everything that they're remaking. I think it's wild that nobody has got. I don't think they need to, but I'm also just like I'm almost kind of insulted. I'm like, out of all the movies you're going back and remaking that you think need to, like, why not this one? But
yeah.
I don't think it needs to be done. I'm just kind of insulted.
It'll happen before too long, right? I mean, they remade The Thing after the 80s version, which I never saw the new one. I heard it was okay, but it's like, how are you going to be better than the John Carpenter version of The Thing? You're not. You can try, but you're not going to.
The one that I saw that I thought was so good was The Toxic Avenger.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. It's on the list somewhere, but I haven't gotten to it.
So good.
I mean, obviously, the original is so good. The remake is so good. Like they did it the justice that it deserved. Big fan. I think they did a great job. It's one of the few remakes that I'm like, it belongs in the lore. Like, it's
interesting. I do have to say that I don't know if this is controversial opinion or not, but the remake of Evil Dead, I liked quite a bit. I won't say like as much or like it was better or anything. I thought it's kind of its own thing that paid enough homage to the original series while also being, very scary and creepy and very cool. So spinningthewax@gmail.com if you absolutely loved the new Evil Dead remake or absolutely hated it. But speaking of Kurt Russell, I also just recently watched for the first time in a while Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Phenomenal movie. Again, another one.
Seen it before?
What? No. I had seen it before. Just it'd been like a really, really long time, like high school or something like that. So I remember most of it, but also it was one of those movies that was always on cable because I'm old enough to do that. So you tune into it when, at the back half of the movie or I've seen this movie, but never all in one go all the way. It was like one of those things. So
right, like edited for the commercial breaks and you missed some of it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So incredible movie, 10 out of 10, no notes. I think it's perfect cinema, but that was also one of the things I was looking at, just with it being the 80s and stuff like that. It's like someone could do a decent remake on Big Trouble in Little China if they really tried, but it could be very, very bad and nobody needs to do it. But I get Edgar Wright on it. I think he'd probably do a really good job on that.
At that point, yeah. Yeah, I just, now that they're remaking everything, I get a little bit precious about the things they choose not to remake. Why not that one? That one's
why not that one, huh? Why not?
I do love the trend that's going around on socials where people are like, remake this movie with everyone as a Muppet except for one character. Like I love those. They're very spot on.
Yeah, my favorite of those was Beauty and the Beast as a Muppet remake, but the Beast is actually just a human. He's a very handsome human, but then when he, at the end, when he turns back into the human, he's actually a Muppet. And everyone's, oh my God, you're so gorgeous. Great. Yeah.
I would watch that.
I would too.
Yeah.
We're listening to Dancing Through Sunday right now, April, which is the very hardcore, it's just one of the, I feel like you can't listen to this song and not high step.
Literally, I was wanting to skank around this office right now, just and here's the song.
Yeah. This one's the classic song.
It's just in the grooves of my brain and it will never leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this music video with the burnt orange background and what you were saying earlier, it was on VH1 and MTV all the time.
All the fucking time.
I was not quite allowed to watch that stuff yet, so I had to sneak it in.
This was all over the place, and Fuse TV, their afternoon lineup of music videos, just like this and Smile Empty Soul and fucking I don't even know all these 2000s, not quite butt rock, not quite indie rock, but that bridge in between that, Flaw, if you remember that band. Yeah, this was all of that shit was going on in here. And this is at a time right before I discovered Iron Maiden, where I was learning Foo Fighters songs and The Used and AFI, and then I hit my metalhead streak and we just fucking went into the Judas Priest lane, April. That's where we went after that.
When I was home for the holidays this year, I was going through the room at my parents' house, and there were a ton of AP magazines from 2005, 2006, 2007, and flipping through those where they're 100 greatest bands of 2005, the ones half these bands you don't even recognize anymore, and then the ones that they pushed way down of maybe check this one out are now huge bands that you're oh, they have no idea. One of the articles was introducing Paramore. It's this small band. You're they're still going strong. It was wild to read that, just they kind of hit the mark on some of them, but a lot of them, they just had no idea who was going to make it. It was wild.
Seriously, yeah. I love looking back at old festival posters from like, the Ozfest days or something like that, seeing who was, very tiny. My very first Ozfest, which I think was 2005, Arch Enemy played the like 9:30 slot, because Anthems of Rebellion, I think, had just come out. They were also getting, music video coverage on Headbangers Ball and all that other stuff. But like nowadays, Arch Enemy is like the tip of the top of modern, melodic death metal bands or metal bands in general. And there's like, the first band that you're going to see while people are still in line, getting their tickets in and everything like that. It's just like nowadays, what the fuck? Mastodon was on that second stage as well. Crazy shit.
I sent Kim a poster from it was Warped Tour, and I think it was like 2005, something like that. And My Chemical Romance were like 12 lines down in the lineup. I was like, it's wild nowadays to look at that, just be like, they were just some side band.
Nowadays you can't even get tickets for their shit.
No, it's wild, but yeah, that's how it was. I mean, everyone has to start somewhere, which is very comforting to us.
100%, and that's why I was like, kind of joking about like, Fozzy introduced me to Judas Priest. Back in the day in like high school when it was a little bit more like, oh, well, if you don't listen to these bands, you suck, or if you don't listen to all metal, then it's bad, or all pop music or popular music, like all that fucking bullshit, closed-minded stuff that a lot of fucking like, 14 to 15-year-old males get into a lot of time, right? Just like everything else is stupid except for what I like. Nowadays, it's just like, be proud of the weird places that you found your band or the bands that got you into, what you wanted to do. There's zero shame.
I mean, I think that's what I learned from when we did karaoke with the bands on tour. It's like the songs they were picking, like Lisa LeBeau, Stay. Like they're like, these are like death metal, black metal, and they're like, this is the song I'm picking for karaoke. You're like, there is no shame, there are no rules. All this is made up. Like, do whatever you want. And it's really fun. I mean, there's a reason why pop music is popular.
Yeah.
It's catchy. Like that. I mean, you can hate it and be like, man, it's for the masses, it's mass produced. But there's an underlying factor. Like, there is also really good pop music, just because it's like, not Britney Spears or whatever, but there's like underground bands that are making sick music.
Yeah. I have, the past few months, I have gotten into a very nice, pop girl phase, and it's been great. A lot of that was because I just fell so completely in love with Chappell Roan's new record, and I think it's just like one of the fucking like greatest things that's been put out recently, because it just kind of like we're talking about combines so many elements of pop music and different parts of music into one record that like each song doesn't sound the same. The last couple Rebecca Black albums actually kind of fucking great, I do have to say, Kat. Yeah, dude, she went so not the most recent one, but the one before that, she just went into this like fucking like underground, I don't want to say goth club, right? Because that's not correct, but like dark underground, sweaty neo-noir, electronic dance club with like fucking like lesbian themes and just like dark, sweaty atmosphere all over the place. And then her most recent album is way more hyper pop. Like she just was like, all right, I want to do what Charlie is doing, so we're going there. I'm not as big on that one as the recent one was, but give it a spin while you're working. And I think that even if you put it in like the speakers across the house, I feel like you'll be like, wait a second, this is going into my like bangers playlist, or this is going into my playlist where I need some energetic music or something like that, which who would have thought?
Make it on a tour playlist, so.
Incredible driving music, some of those songs, so.
Yeah.
We have
now we're on Great Disappointment, and I feel like that's a great place to stop the AFI album. The Great Disappointment.
Yeah, dude. All right, so I have paused right here.
All right, what were you gonna say, April?
Oh, I was gonna say our playlist for tour was like, we really went for the there was a divorced dad playlist that was like on heavy rotation.
Oh yeah.
Italo disco was like
So was that a lot of like Def Leppard and White Snake and Five Finger Death Punch?
It was like Chevelle.
Okay, I was gonna say Chevelle, Nickelback,
like
Flaw, yeah.
Nickelback, like
Shine Down. It's like one of our favorite songs from the last tour was Shine Down 45. You gotta like sing it with your man voice, like they're not great songs, but they're also like legendary songs. These
Right,
songs
like-
do it for a reason.
100%. Like, you're telling me that the second you hear Creed, you're not having all of those songs immediately just stuck in your head, right?
Everybody has like the Creed face when they hear the songs too. We're like,
Yeah, there you go. That's my Creed face.
I like it. It's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Introduced us to Italian disco, which was something I wasn't super familiar with. I'm like, man, that was great stuff.
Italian disco?
Yeah, from the like 80s. It's so good. It's like after disco kind of like ended in the States, it like continued on in Europe and became more like 80s sounding, and it's like super catchy and fun and like just like yeah.
There we go. Can you believe it? We made it through a record and a half. We'll round up for 2 records. I think we made it through AFI's enough, which incredible. We're here. We did it. And that's a first for Spinning the Wax. And I appreciate both of you, April and Kat, for sharing your time, sitting here for almost 2 hours and just fucking nerding out about your record, your music, AFI, Judas Priest, metal, fucking Die Hard remakes, and everything else in between.
Thank you for having me.
You are very welcome. So as we're wrapping up, I want to just make sure that I got everything about I'm sure not, because again, we could probably talk for 4 hours about your music
probably.
and never get into anything on that. But as you know, I almost said Two Shadows. That's not correct. See, I'm back in 2021 over here. As Death Knocks comes out, and it comes out on a beautiful Friday the 13th. What are you excited for? What do you want people to take away from this record? And I guess what is on your mind as we approach that date? And April, we can start with you.
I'm just excited for, I guess, like the whatever happens next. I mean, I'm excited to get it out there. I'm curious to see how it's like widely received, and I really like am eager to get back on the road like so bad. Like we really want to get over to Europe, and we just want to tour so bad. Like, so I'm excited for the prospect that, you know, the album is a success and that it gets some, you know, notice, and that like we get some things lined up in the future.
Yeah, 100%. We'd love to tour. I can't wait to go on tour. I'm really excited to do festivals this time around. Like, I just want to, we haven't done the like big festival scene yet, and I want to do that. I want to go over to Europe. We want to hopefully get to Mexico, like do another North American tour. We keep getting people who hit us up on the East Coast being like, come back. And we're like, we want to. It's like, we'll be there tomorrow if we can. Like,
you got to get to Nashville too. I still have not seen Hoaxed in a Nashville day. I think, well, you guys played Chattanooga on the Morphous tour, right?
Did we?
Did you play a Tennessee show on that one? Maybe it was North Carolina I was thinking of. Okay.
We did North Carolina for sure. I think we skirted around. It's like they typically do the East Coast down through Florida, and then we go to Texas, and we just kind of like miss that central part.
Yeah, it's well, and most places for that tour, Amorphous would definitely go to Atlanta rather than Nashville. Most of the places skip it, which I get it, right? You have a little bit bigger of a draw, a little bit more diverse city, and all that stuff. But one of these days, it will happen.
I mean, we want to go to Nashville too. Like, tour is a great excuse to see all these really cool places, so it'd be rad to get there.
Yeah. Well, I'm stoked for you ladies as well. I know you're road dogs, and for a little bit, you know, in a joking manner, you know, about a year ago, it's like, could they fucking get off the road already so that we could have like another album? But I'm glad that you love it, and I'm glad that it's also just, you're getting the opportunities to tour. You're getting on with these incredible and sick bands, both for tours and for local shows and everything like that, and that these bands are wildly different as, you know, the sound from yourselves and everything like that. So as you can tell, I'm a big fan of the band. I'm a big fan of both of you and Kim as well. And yeah, ever since I first heard the start of Two Shadows, I've been just waiting for more music, and I'm so stoked that it's developing the way that it is. And basically, this album kind of did what Two Shadows did, where it's like, this is great, and now I waited for it, and I want more. So I'm gonna sit with this one for a little bit, but yeah, I'm so stoked for more Hoaxed records, more music, more tours, and everything else that you're doing. So please keep going, don't stop, and I hope that you all have just the most success that you could possibly have with this record coming out.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's always really rad to talk to people that like not only understand and like appreciate craft, but then like can geek out with us on it. So thank you so
Mhm.
much for doing this. It's been
Yeah, and I again, thank you for doing that as well, because I could do this all the time. This is why I have this show, and I appreciate you just wanting to be on board and do it. And whenever we're in Nashville or fucking Belgium or Germany or wherever it is that we see each other on the shows and stuff like that, we can do it again. But everybody, go listen to Death Knocks. Go listen to Hoax. Two Shadows is out right now. 28 minutes of incredible time that you're just gonna listen to over and over again. And ready your Halloween playlists, everybody, because this music is so good for it. All right, April, Kat, is there anything that we didn't mention or that you didn't say that you want to mention before we go?
Oh, we have tour. We have a mini run coming up.
there you go.
We have so around the album release. Friday the 13th, we're playing Vancouver, BC. The 14th, we're in Seattle, and then the 15th, we're in Bellingham, Washington. So if anybody's on the West Coast, up north, we got those 3 shows coming up. And then March 27th, we're playing in Portland.
Doing our hometown release show. So.
Love it. Pacific Northwest, everybody who's in Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, wherever it is, you don't have an excuse. Go see Hoaxed. Go to their release show and go see them on the road. And then be open on whatever summer festivals you're going to be going to, or whatever tours you're lining up and shows you want to go to in the summer and fall, because I'm sure that they're going to be doing something then. So Kat, April, give all my love and regards to Kim. Let her know what I feel about this record and her drumming and everything in general. And again, tell her that we'll geek out about Iron Maiden again next time. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
That was Kat Keogh and April Dimmick from Hoaxed talking about Die Hard remakes, divorced dad rock, foam crypt dioramas, and everything in between. Go listen to Death Knocks right now. It is available as we speak through Relapse Records. It gets under your skin with every single listen, and the songs will be haunting the back of your mind for weeks to come. I promise, it is a fantastic record. Well, that's the show for today, my friends. Thank you so much for listening and for supporting. Like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube. If you're listening on a podcast platform, please leave us a cheeky review. And you can hit us up at spinningthewax@gmail.com or leave a comment below for any of your music chatter needs. You can also hit us up at spinningthewax on Instagram or at staypuft_Malo. Until next time, my friends, stay safe, stay sane, stay heavy, stay puffed!